On May 16th, 2019, the CW announced that a Deathstroke animated series was in development for their digital platform, CW Seed. This series, now known as Deathstroke Knights and Dragons, will see the world's deadliest assassin confronting the Jackal, along with the forces of Hive, exactly a decade after they threatened his family. Now, Deathstroke is my favorite supervillain of all time. I first knew of him thanks to Teen Titans, the Batman Arkham video games, and Injustice, but I would first become a fan of Slade Wilson via Manu Bennett's portrayal of him on Arrow. This liking of this character was firmly set after reading both of his New 52 comic book series, and starting his DC Rebirth one. I think Deathstroke perfectly combines the unorthodox family dynamic of Batman, the military backstory of Captain America, and the morally ambiguous nature of Boba Fett. As you can probably tell, I was pleasantly surprised by the CW announcing a Deathstroke animated series. That being said, I have one lingering question about Knights and Dragons. Which continuity will it take place in? You see, Deathstroke Knights and Dragons will be the fourth animated series in CW Seed based off a DC character. The first two series, which were Vixen and Freedom Fighters The Ray, respectively, are the only animated installments of the CW's DC television multiverse, also known as the Arrowverse. The third series, Constantine City of Demons, is actually set within the DC animated movie universe, which is the continuity in which the majority of Warner Bros. Animation's newer DC Universe animated original movies take place. Despite the fact that Deathstroke has appeared in both of these continuities, I'm not sure if Knights and Dragons will be set in either of them. There were two big things that helped me make this conclusion. First, the actors. Like I mentioned earlier, the Arrowverse version of Slade Wilson was portrayed by Manu Bennett. His DC AMU counterpart was initially voiced by Thomas Gibson in Son of Batman, and then by the late Miguel Ferrer in Teen Titans The Judas Contract. Slade also had a cameo in a flashback sequence in Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, but he didn't have any lines. Knights and Dragons will see the world's deadliest assassin voiced by Michael Chiklis, who, interestingly enough, portrayed Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, in 20th Century Fox's original duology of Fantastic Four movies. My other big sign was a synopsis. Like I said earlier, Knights and Dragons will see Slade fighting against the forces of both the Jackal and Hive. This conflict couldn't have happened in either the Arrowverse or the DC animated movie universe. In the former continuity, Hive was formed by Damien Darhk after he left the League of Assassins. We don't know if this organization is still active after Darhk was defeated by Team Arrow, as depicted in Arrow Season 4. In addition, the Jackal is not one individual, but an entire criminal organization led by Slade's son, Joseph Wilson, whose operations were foiled thanks to the combined efforts of Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, and Slade Wilson. Meanwhile, in the DC AMU, Deathstroke accepts a contract from Hive so their leader, Brother Blood, could absorb their powers, as depicted in Teen Titans The Judas Contract. Slade wanted revenge in the current Robin, Damian Wayne, for replacing him as Ra's al Ghul's heir. We also see Brother Blood test his experiment on Jericho earlier in the movie, though we don't know if this version is supposed to be Joseph Wilson. Finally, Knights and Dragons casted actress Faye Mata as Rose. We can safely assume that she's supposed to be Rose Wilson, aka Deathstroke's daughter and the current Ravager. So far, she doesn't exist in either continuity, though Arrowverse original character Isabel Rochev was a partial homage to her. So yeah, this was something that was on my mind regarding Deathstroke Knights and Dragons. Regardless of which continuity will take place in, I can't wait for this animated series to drop on CW Seed next year. Hello, I see that you have reached the end of this video. If you liked what you just saw, you can give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter at DialogueNerdy. If you really want to, you can also ring the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video.